Let's look at top 7 Town Hall 16 attack strategies in the game right now, ranked on 2 key factors: how powerful they are and how easy are they to execute. At number 7 we have the Electro Titans. This is the only strategy on the list that truly feels like old school Clash of Clans. Start with the Warden Walk to clear one side of the funnel. Use a rage spell if needed to speed things up and secure early value. On the opposite side, create the second half of the funnel using a baby dragon or a siege barrack, whichever gets the job done with the least investment. Now deploy your king and queen from this side. They will begin shaping the path, and shortly after you can send in the main force. Drop your Electro Titans and make sure to open the wall with a super wall breaker, so they move into the base instead of walking around it. Since we saved the siege barrack, deploy it here and provide backups for additional support. Use a poison spell on the enemy clan castle troops. You can either use the warden ability here. In this case, I'll use it early to preserve as many Electro Titans as possible for the core. Then place a jump spell to connect to the next compartment and use freeze spells on high damage defenses. Deploy the Royal Champion from a different angle to pick off key defenses. This is also a good time to activate the King's ability to open the final compartments. The Town Hall may go invisible briefly, but that's completely fine. Use your final rage spell to secure it. Now deploy the cleanup troops to wrap up the attack. And just like that, the base is taken down. From here on, we'll move into new meta strategies. At number 6 we have the Electro Dragons. In the current meta, this strategy has become significantly strong, and as for this attack, I'm going with the Flame Flinger, but most of the air siege worked just fine with this army. Start by getting the Flame Flinger value, clear any exposed defenses that could target the Flinger, then deploy it safely. In this attack, the Flinger is empty, and I wouldn't be investing too much into protecting it. Now for the back end, deploy the Dragon Duke, equipped with the Fire Heart and Stun Blaster. You can raise him up to make him even more aggressive, and also drop a few balloons alongside him to check for Seeking Air Mines. Use the Stun Blaster especially against single Infernos and often handle the situation even more efficiently. You can still invest freezes later if needed. I also have a revive spell ready for the Dragon Duke, which we will use later in this attack. Now deploy your heroes to create the funnel on one side. I'm aiming to secure the Town Hall while also setting a clean path for the main push. You can support your heroes with Headhunters if needed. In this case, I'll use both hero abilities to secure maximum value. The enemy clan castle gets lured and targets the Flame Flinger, but that's completely fine. We can deal with them with a poison spell. And again, protecting the Flame Flinger isn't crucial here. Now start the main push. Deploy your balloons first, followed by the Electro Dragons, and then bring in the Grand Warden. Use freeze spells on high damage defenses like Scatter Shots, and you may need to activate the Queen ability to secure the Town Hall even if it goes invisible briefly. Now combine the Rage and Freeze to bring down the Town Hall efficiently. Then time the Warden ability to absorb the Eagle damage and preserve your Electro Dragon's health. This is the perfect moment to use the Revive spell and bring in the Dragon Duke. He already did his solo section, and now he can link up with the remaining air troops and bring us even more value in this attack. With the new meta, Electro Dragons are stronger than ever, and you can absolutely crush bases like this. Next in the list is Root Riders. They are not as dominant as they were on release, but with the right execution, they can still absolutely wreck bases. Start the attack with the Dragon Duke. He will create the funnel here, while also taking down key defenses. Right from the start, you are setting the tone for the entire attack. I will rage him up, but the Angry Jelly might pull him out of it quickly. Either way, still gets the boost, so it's perfectly fine. It may not look perfect, but the value adds up fast. Rage him up again, and he can do a surprising amount of damage on his own. This is where the attack starts to feel overwhelming for the base. At this point, we have created a solid funnel and taken down several important defenses. I improved the funnel further with the Baby Dragon on the top. The king will handle the funnel on the right side. You can support him with super barbarians if needed, but it's not always necessary. Stick Horse is the equipment here, and if you don't have it, then you can use the Royal Champion to make the funnel. Now begin the main push. First check for black mines using balloons, then follow up with Road Riders, healers, throwers, and the rest of the army. The king won't go very deep, but that's fine. Just pop his ability to refine the funnel further. I will also use the troop launcher in this attack. Poison the enemy CC and raise your troops in the core. You can use an overgrowth if the town hall is centralized, but since that's not the case here, I'll use it on the side, but that was basically a swag. Use totem spells in the core to absorb incoming damage, and as the troops approach the town hall, activate the warden ability to protect everything. This is the moment where everything comes together. Deploy cleanup troops around the outside. Don't wait too long, time can still be your biggest enemy. Use free spells to shut down remaining key defenses. At this point, it's just about closing the game early. And just like that, the base is completely crushed, easily one of the strongest strategies at Town Hall 16. At number 4, we have the Super Yeti strategy. This combination benefits greatly from the Dragon Duke, and the equipment setup is a bit different. For the siege machine, I'll be using the log launcher. Now watch this carefully. This attack looks simple, but the execution matters a lot. We'll begin once again with the Warden Walk. Take your time here and make sure you don't lose the Warden ability early on. If you mess this up, the entire attack can fall apart before it even begins. The funneling on the opposite side will be created by the Dragon Duke. Ideally, the clan castle should be on the other side of the base so the Dragon Duke can operate freely. But even if he engages the CC, it's still manageable. This is where things get interesting. Rage him to boost his performance and use his ability, preferably a dense area. Support him with freezes if needed for extra value. I also have a revive spell reserve, and trust me, that revive can completely flip the attack later on. Use a rage on the warden to help him deal with the enemy heroes and complete the funnel. Then begin the main push with your queen, followed by an ice column and the log launcher. Super Yetis are powerful but tend to stray, so it's crucial to ensure a clean entry before deploying them. If your funnel is even slightly off, your Yetis will walk and that's game over. Once the path is ready, deploy the Yetis along with the king so he can help open compartments deeper into the base. This is the moment where the attack really starts to build momentum. As the army reaches the core and engages the town hall, activate the warden ability and poison the enemy CC. Everything is happening at once here. This is the make or break moment. As the ability fades, freeze key defenses like the monolith. We also have road riders in the clan castle to help open walls. And this is a great time to use the king's ability to break through multiple compartments. Notice how everything is layered perfectly. That's what makes this strategy so strong. If needed, use a jump spell to push your troops into the final compartments and maintain momentum. Don't forget to revive the Dragon Duke. You can provide additional value in the back end. Although in most cases, the attack is already secured by this point. But if something goes wrong, the revive is your safety net. And just like that, another solid strategy under your belt, clean, controlled and extremely effective. At number 3, we have the Dragons, paired with the Dragon Duke and the Flame Flinger. Yes, you can substitute the Flinger with any flying siege if necessary. And this one hits way harder than it looks. Start with the Flinger value on the edge and let that siege work for a while. This little step sets up everything. I'm clearing the back end with the Dragon Duke while the Flame Flinger creates the funnel, but you can switch their roles depending on the base layout. This flexibility is what makes this strategy so dangerous. Rage the Duke, and since I have the Jelly paired with him, he will prioritize defenses. If you don't get all targets immediately, that's completely fine. The Dragon Duke has that damage, and I also have a revive spell ready for him later. Next, create a light funnel with the dragon, then deploy your queen along with the supporting troop to shape the path on the left side. This is a small step, but it makes huge difference in pathing. Poison the enemy CC if it gets lured, as that can happen sometimes. Then begin the main push with the balloons, followed by the dragons, the Grand Warden and the Minion Prince. Rage your troops as they enter the base, and this is a great moment to activate the Minion Prince ability, aim his Dark Orb into the core or at key defenses. If you land that ability well, the base starts collapsing instantly. Activate the Warden ability in the core when you are facing heaviest damage to soak everything. This is your safety button, don't panic, just time it right. As it fades, freeze single infernos if needed to keep your troops alive. Now revive the Dragon Duke and let him create even more chaos in the base. This is where the attack goes from strong to overwhelming. Support him with freezes if you still have spells left, trigger the Queen ability if needed for extra value on the outside, and send the Giant into the base. And that's the attack wrapped up, clean, powerful and extremely reliable in the current meta. Now let's move higher on the list. because the next one is even stronger. Next in the line is Fireball Rocket Loons. This strategy is incredibly powerful, but just a little bit harder to pull off. The strategy begins with the Warden Walk. We aim the fireball to take down the clan castle with it. This is the most important step of the entire attack. It might be tricky, but if you execute it cleanly, the attack is already 80% done. Yes, just this one step decides almost everything. Use invisibility, trigger the ability, and use Earthquake to finish the job. If you land this perfectly, the base is already in trouble. On the opposite side, the Dragon Duke will do his work. He's not really funneling here, he's clearing key defenses, so the backend becomes much smoother. Think of him as setting up the finish, not the start. The best bet for him is the Angry Jelly, since it helps him target defenses efficiently with his massive damage and health. I'm using Fireheart and Stun Blaster over the Flame Blower, as they provide more consistent value in these type of attacks. And when used correctly, he feels unstoppable. Now start the push on the opposite side, away from the Warden, so he doesn't join them. I'm using a log launcher to open paths for the heroes, but honestly, this part isn't critical anymore because at this point, the base is already falling apart. Even if you just swarm the base with rocket balloons and deploy your heroes across different sections, it will still triple. I'll still pop the king ability here to get extra value in this compartment, and yes, I forgot the yetis, so here they go. But honestly, it doesn't even matter anymore. Use rocket loons to pick off key defenses and completely shut down the base. This is the cleanup phase, but it feels like overkill. If your Dragon Duke is upgrading, you can run this strategy with the Royal Champion instead. And just like that, the base is destroyed. Absolutely insane power. The only reason this isn't number 1 is because it's hard to pull off consistently. At number 1 we have the Throwers. I know this isn't the most obvious pick for the top spot, but with the current meta and the balance changes, this strategy is surprisingly easy to execute and incredibly powerful. Start the attack with the Dragon Duke. He will create the funnel while also taking down key defenses along the way. Right from the start, you're putting pressure on the base. Use a rage spell on him, although he won't stay inside it for long. The Angry Jelly makes him prioritize defenses, which can sometimes pull him out of the rage. The clan castle will be triggered, so use a poison spell to deal with it. The funnel on the opposite side will be created by the Warden, and you can run both of these steps simultaneously. This is where the setup really starts coming together. Use the Queen to influence the Warden's path, and improve the funnel further with a baby dragon or super barbarians, whatever you prefer. A proper path must be created for the Throwers, so the log launcher will move in protected by an ice golem. Now we are setting up the main push. Next, deploy the Throwers along with the mini Warden and one Electro Titan. This is where the real push begins. Delay the king slightly so he commits inside the base. If he walks outside, it can create problems for the entire attack. That one small mistake can cost you the triple. As you approach the core, raise high damage defenses to protect your heroes. When everything groups up in the center, activate the Warden ability to absorb incoming damage. This is the moment that decides the attack. Next, use the king's ability to open the remaining compartments. Even if you have brute riders from the clan castle, opening more paths immediately helps push into the final sections of the base. The more paths you open, the faster the base collapses. Deploy your final jump spells to help Throwers move through the last compartments and avoid a time fail. If you think jump spells are too much, you can swap them for totem or additional rage spells depending on your preference. Using Throwers is simple, efficient, and doesn't require any super troop activation, so they're always ready to go. Alright guys, let's find out who won the gold pass. Well, congratulations. Now here's how to claim it. Please comment in this video using the same ID you did in the previous video. Write something relevant to this video, anything works, and then include your email ID. Although do not include the domain because it will be marked as spam, so just write the handle and then continue. And even after this, if YouTube marks this as spam, then please contact me over on Instagram. I lost access to that, so I was not able to reply previous messages, but I got my access back and now I can surely reply. But please select the comment section as your primary method. After that, I will contact you on email, then add you on my Clash of Clans list, and then I will give you the gold pass. This is a little bit time consuming, but it makes sure that no one else claims your gold pass. And to keep everything simple, use a Gmail ID. And at the end of this video, I will leave this Th16 guide. Even if it is not updated, it is still pretty relevant. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Keep clashing.